Hello and welcome to Goa 365's Face to Face. Tomorrow is World Tourism Day, that is Tuesday. And it is but proper that on the eve of World Tourism Day, I bring in our studio a very senior person from the hospitality industry, Senior Vice President IHCL, the Tata Taj Group, Vincent Ramos. Vincent Bab,
thank you.
Welcome to our show. Now, Vincent has been on our show a couple of times, and I would think he's a friend. So, I'm sure you will be straight with us on 365 at least. So first, congratulations on being on the government committee, professional, hotel side, all that. Congratulations, and I hope that you will be able to make a difference for tourism in Goa. So, Vincent, tell me, what do you feel is the state of this? Will this committee help? What will be the state of this tourism in Goa? Is it, I know that it is something that has really taken Goa to levels. But do you feel that what is the status generally with pandemic, post-pandemic, and now in general?
First of all, thank you, Glenn, for having me here. And I think I must congratulate you for the good work your channel and your institution is doing for Goa, because these interactions are very, very important. And I must thank you and congratulate, as I've said. Coming to the state of us, what a beautiful state we have. I mean, everybody knows about it. And I think the way forward, we always spoke about tourism, and I think all of us are in it together when it comes to tourism. To answer your question very, very simply, tourism is just not about committees. I think it is a ground reality. You have to get to the people down. Everybody has to be a stakeholder. If I talk about cleanliness, I can, as a hotel, I can go and clean up a beach maybe in the morning or maybe in the evening, twice in the day. But what also matters is that what happens during the day, between the morning and the evening. I can't keep on cleaning the whole day. And why I'm saying so? Because it is the responsible citizen of our country who needs to be part of tourism. They have to understand that this is their daily bread. People are coming here to enjoy the beauty, and the beauty can just be spoiled by throwing some plastic and some dirt away. So I think committees will be, law committees will be there. There'll be TTAG committee, there'll be tourism committee, the board. The real is where the rubber hits the road is when you find that cleanliness, you find that the people in your state are committed towards tourism, and it's a responsible tourism. So having said that, I think we are on the right track when it comes to the government has announced that we need to have all stakeholders to bring the level of tourism up in the state, and I think we are going to grow great guns if this happens.
See, our type of tourism, we have a very, very beautiful state. So what you feel like, what is the, I would like, way forward may not be the right word so soon into it, but what type of tourism you feel like, say, like the Taj Group, very responsible group, it has a very ethical type of a group. I'm sure that I can say, because we know the way it works. But like what type of tourism you feel will succeed here in Goa?
So we always spoke about this quality tourism, and when I talk about quality tourism, yes, you will also have the other part of tourism. You will have the budget tourism, and you will have the other segments of tourism. But at the moment, I think that other segment of tourism is too large. So we need to put so much of power or all our forces behind the quality tourism. Just to give you an example, we just have 8,663 rooms in Goa. I'm talking about 4 stars and 5 stars. Okay. Now that's not enough.
Less.
This is very less. It's less than 10,000. You need to have at least a lakh of rooms in Goa for
1 lakh rooms. Yeah. You feel?
Yes,
that much of
10 times more.
10 times more.
And that is where our success is. I'm talking about quality rooms. I'm not talking about these small rooms, where you get all these small, they just come, sort of. I'm talking about real quality. So you need to, the proportion is not right at the moment, and you need to get the proportion right. And once you have this quality tourism or quality guest in your state, you have the infrastructure which is quality. I think there'll be no looking back, and that's what is going to keep Goa alive.
Yeah, see, again, now is this like lot of people are going into homestays now. People even
we have got into homestays.
Exactly. So that is part of this quality tourism.
Absolutely. So every homestay is, and again, you will find that there are homestays, which are small, and then there are homestays which are luxury bungalows and things like that. And I think I was introduced to this homestay when I was posted in Kerala. The first time, I'm talking about some 10-12 years back, they had this homestay called, but they never spoke about this high-end homestays that what we have in Goa. Ours are basically bungalows. Those was just homestays. Is you go and stay like a guest. There'll be 7-8 rooms, and you take one room and stay in one room. The second room is occupied by somebody else and things like that. So they call homestays theirs. But I think Goa has done a great job. And I think our company came up with this concept of AMA, which is luxury homestays. And today the luxury people all walks of life, when I say the CEOs, you have all the people who want to do business from Goa. Work from home became a big thing during the COVID time. So they took these bungalows and they started working from home, and they started having quality time, and at the same time they could have the leisure also a part of it. So I think that's the way forward for us. We just, even in the homestays, we need to have the quality ones.
So in a way, do you think that at least for a certain type of tourism, I know the tourism was hit very badly because travel and all had stopped, but in a way, did COVID sharpen, give the industry time to actually see what would work, what would not work? The pandemic.
Yes, it did. The COVID actually.
Besides hurting a lot of people.
Yeah, of course, besides hurting a lot of people, it did a lot of difference to the lives of the people, let me put it that way. But as humans, we are going back to the same thing,
Okay.
So we have forgotten, and our memory is very short. I don't think so anybody even remembers the COVID that we had. We just come out of it and life is as normal, and so that's how our whole humanity works, or our whole nature works. But there were few things that COVID taught us, like touchless services, and things that were like there used to be very demanding guests, like and then because of you don't have the touch with the guests, the services became less. I think that was good. Sometimes many of the guests could be, get very demanding and say that I want everything on the table and things like that. But that went away, but slowly coming back. So let's hope for the best. And I think culturally we are very, very different from all over the world. So I think culturally we need to change also a lot, and I think we're trying to keep that thing, trying to keep the balance, that what happened during the COVID, we're trying to keep it, but I hope it doesn't come back.
But then now we have the wars.
Yeah.
So then what is it? But I don't know, maybe this is what I'm thinking, but I feel that in a way all these things, but for Goa probably it would be good, because see, otherwise there are a lot of destinations all over the place. Like suppose if something like this, people have come to Goa, like I think that all the top hotels and the top homes, they have done very good business in just post the second wave. I think, I'm not very
Absolutely.
sure. But is this the reason why people are going to come to Goa? Because they feel that it's a safer place, it's a better place, it's a better option?
No, we
I'm reading up to something.
Yeah, no, it's not. We cannot take it for granted. There's something that is called product fatigue. So that was our worry, that people are so tired of coming to Goa. But you have to remember one thing, that if you have your experience, you believe in a product. Okay, if it is an iPhone, or take for example any other product, but you will buy it again and again if you have a good experience. And I hope that those guests had a great experience, and they will come back again and again. Yes, people have started traveling abroad and things like that, but we still see a good pick up in Goa for the future, and a good of them who are not exposed to Goa have now become regulars in Goa. But it's always, again, there will be a part of it who will want to still go abroad, and there are part of it who have tasted Goa and will want to come back to Goa. But I think overall scenario, to balance it out, I think we are in good shape.
Probably it's going to be a mix of both, because people
Yeah.
will also travel abroad, but then
Yes,
even you
and
want
this
a
I'm talking,
shorter-
this I'm talking purely not considering there's a war in Russia and Russians
Okay.
are not coming in, and and other European people, they had some visa problems and things, and they're not coming in. But I'm talking about a self-sufficient country that we are talking about. I think we have done a great job, and I think coming back to your question, as a COVID taught us that we can be self-sufficient.
That's
The
the
Atmanirbhar or the Swanpurna Goa, that is actually can be done. That is what the lesson was. It was like a trailer. So so I think we should go for it. And how will it happen? It just won't just happen. Coming back to saying, you need to have quality product. You need to have quality service to get a quality.
That was the point I was
The
hitting at,
quality
yes.
guest or a quality tourist. And once that happens, why would somebody go all the way abroad, flying for 8 hours, 9 hours? It's just that probably they just don't want to see the garbage around, or don't want to see a lot of things that we see on the streets. And as I've said, that if everybody, all of us, all the stakeholders, the people of Goa, all of us have a common cause, we can make Goa a very beautiful place.
Actually, this mindset about, you're talking about garbage and you're talking about even roads and infrastructure, it is a mindset. Goa has so much of infrastructure, so much, it's got everything. Just maintenance, little bit of tweaking, mindset. I think most of our problems will be sorted out, because even roads, like anyway you're paying for the roads, so you just concentrate a little bit on the contract issue. Baba, why is this not getting done? Or the street lights or anything, whatever. I don't think it's a big deal. Even the beaches to be cleaned. Of course, a lot of NGOs and hotels are not cleaning, but the beach contractors are there, some infrastructure. It's not a big problem, don't you think?
No, I agree with you. It's not a big deal, and I think we are just getting there, and we just have to make that awareness felt in everyone. And that's the purpose of being here on the show. That yes, we have to be aware of where we are, and I think, as you have rightly put it, yes, we are. It's not that bad.
It's not
that bad.
And it's not such a big problem
and
at
it's
all.
not
I
such a
don't
big
think
problem
it's a
again.
big problem at all.
It's just a matter of your mindset, and you change your mindset, and you again, culturally you start teaching your students from school and things like that. You're reinforcing the whole thing. It's not that it's not taught them, but reinforcing the whole thing. And I think the generation now is much better than the generation we are. In fact, if you even take a chocolate paper and read the generation will tell you that,
why you're doing
Papa, why you're doing that,
exactly,
or Mama, why you're doing that, give it to me, because I think that is what is important, and we are on the right track again. I'm saying it again.
Okay, just to move on a little bit more. Now we have been beach. It started off like, say, your Bali or Goa. They came up as hippie tourism. Today, beach tourism is a big thing, of course. But Goa has much more to offer, and which Amma has shown. Like I'm sure many of your properties, many of them are not so much in the beach. They are in villages. They are in the. So you feel that Goa. You were talking about stakeholders earlier. So suppose if more people get the benefit of tourism, they will be more involved in ensuring that lots of things in the like, I'll give you an example. What happens in places like Kenya or any of these African places? A lot of these the villages themselves are so that's why there's less poaching. The animals are looked after. You think that would be a good way of going about tourism in Goa?
Absolutely. I think it's very, very important, and I think again, what point you have raised is, I think, is a very important point. The fear is that sometimes you get very worried for all the agitation that goes on, that something good is happening, and sometimes people are not educated probably that this is good for your state or good for your country, good for your generation. So I think we need to preserve what we have. We need to first preserve what we have, and as you said about Bali and other places, Croatia and Bali is a great example. There's something that is called Butler's area life cycle. So every tourist destination also has a life cycle, and then the final stage is stagnation. And the worry was that before COVID we were at that point. We need to reinvent. So what did Bali do in the 70s days to promote their women? Then they thought, what are we doing? Later on in that whole cycle, they did this study, and then they reinvented themselves. They started promoting culture and heritage. They did have the beaches, but they started having looked at in a different way. They started promoting the culture and heritage. Probably even when you go to Bali, you can see Ramayana in a different
Yes,
way.
lot of
You see the
temples.
Ganeshas, in a different form. They come out of the lava stone, and so they started promoting, that thing. And today Bali is Bali, and if you look at their numbers, we are far behind.
They're huge.
We are
It's huge,
and that's why I was talking to you about the 1 lakh rooms. We are not far away from them if we put in the effort and know where we are standing. The thing is that when you have a problem, you have to know where your problem is, accept that you have a problem, and start working on it. And I think that's the biggest thing that can happen.
Which is a good thing that today, obviously the state government is very invested in Goa. Obviously, it's the state. But today, even the center is looking at tourism and even homestays, and is giving a lot of support to tourism per se in Goa and of course other states. So talk about Bali and 1 lakh tourism. Look at the type of tourists. Look at the hotels. Look at the hopes. So what? It's like it's huge. But to reach, forget. You are looking at coming close. I'm talking about half. Even to reach half, you need to have proper discipline. Proper discipline means this total overall discipline. And it's not that Bali is in a country which is very very developed, but it's second thing, infrastructure, all those things are taken care of. And in Goa, it's again, I repeat, for probably effect, it's a mindset. It's not a big issue, don't you think?
I agree.
But to reach there is an effort. You need sustained effort, you need sustained pressure, you need sustained planning. I think planning is planning. What do you feel?
You need everything.
Yes, and the Taj Group is one thing which plans for 2 generations,
correct,
3 generations, and
correct.
that's why I'm putting this.
So we have a latest plan now called R1 2025. It's a 3-pronged strategy where we are going to have our brand look at the whole tourism thing in a different way. Whether it's culturally or whether it is, at the same time you need to be in business to make money, and most of our money goes into charity, but it's not that we don't want, because we want to then put it back to the society, because giving back is a big thing for us. Right now as we talk, we have the volunteering week going on. We don't tom about it, but we are all over the city feeding dogs and promoting whatever we can, cleanliness, and going to aged homes, and trying to do whatever we can. But I think that's what it is. The greatest thing that is you giving back to your own society, giving back to your own state, and when you're part of it, you get that joy. You get that joy that you can do. And yes, our meaning, our intention, yours and mine are the same, because we want something good for the state. And I think on the eve of the tourism day, we are sitting in the studio, talking about how we can do things better. And I'm saying it again, that all the people, when they come together for a common cause, and as you were talking about Bali, I went for training to Bali in 1995, and those days the waiter came in a car. When I just had a scooty, right, the waiter, and I was a restaurant manager those days, because the people saw the value, and I said, oh wow. And when the waiter invited me to his house, I saw his lifestyle. It was good, good. So once the people know that that it is beneficial for them, they'll be part of it, and it is going to happen.
Now World Tourism Day is on Tuesday. Now the theme is reinventing tourism.
Yes.
So, do we need to reinvent, or we need to tweak, and we need to
rethinking, reinventing, and I was talking about this Butler's curve. You need to understand, that you see, once you are ripe, the next stage is rot.
Correct.
Okay.
All the fruits are
so a fruit also goes through a cycle.
Yes.
But you need to reinvent yourself all the time. Once you are ripe and you say, hey, I'm there, and you see all the shacks are full and this, and no, that's not it. You need to now reinvent yourself. You need to, and I think the government is doing a great job. They are rethinking tourism. The theme is right: rethinking, reinventing tourism. Because how are they rethinking? They want to promote the hinterlands. One thing that has not been explored by Goa. Huge scope for because
huge
people finally, I always say that when you become rich, finally you want to have a farmhouse. Once you become a rich, sometimes the farmer becomes rich, and then finally says, oh, I've done it all, and now what do I do? Somebody tells him that, hey, now you can buy a farmhouse. Then he says, well, I already was doing farming before. Now I've gone to the whole cycle of life and farmer. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that people would like to come back to nature. People like to enjoy that, the chirpiness of the birds and the fresh air and the oxygen and the fall of the water, and that is what at the end of the day people also enjoy that, not just the beaches. So it becomes a different thing when you only talk about the beaches, but there's so much, the heritage, the culture, the 400-year-old buildings, the 400-year-old churches, 500-year-old temples, whatever we have. I think that's the biggest asset, and we have it naturally with us, so I think we see a good scope for tourism as we go forward.
Also, I would like to add, I'm not going to be a spoil sport as such, but caveat, see, arrogance. Like today, Goa is beautiful. Now see, I think you and me, we've traveled the world and we've seen almost everything. People talk about X, talk about Y, but like when I come to Goa and I go through the villages, those narrow roads, you drive slowly, I mean, it's beautiful. It's like really, really beautiful. But we need to maintain. Now see, you're talking about hinterland tourism, right? That's the next step. You are reinventing, hopefully not the wheel, but you are reinventing. But we also need to maintain what we have. See, we have the beaches, 105 kilometers, palm fringe beaches, beautiful, blue sand, but we should not allow that to degrade. Like I said in the beginning, we have a lot of infrastructure, we have a lot of USPs, we have a lot of geese that lay golden eggs, but we also need to maintain that. It's not the job of the stakeholders, it's also the job of the people, of the people who are in charge, the supervisory, some sort of a mindset. So that is also as important as finding new avenues, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I know
important.
you had touched on it in the beginning. I'm just bringing it more into.
Absolutely important. I think the people down the line who are again working in the system, they are the most important. And I was a little involved in the cleanliness of the Panjim city. And so they told me that they have to go and put the finger, the biometrics. Okay, I was quite impressed because there was a talk before Kamang Eta and they disappear. So I think somewhere there's something right happening that gives you a feeling that this lady told me, I said, you need to do this work because I was getting an area clean. She said, sir, maka thumb maran yung jai. So I said, where is this thumb? He said, no, we have to go and put a thumb. Basically, you're keeping a track on the people, which is, again, you said that one of our biggest worry in the Esther years was people coming to the job and not working in the offices or wherever it is. But I think we are getting there. We are better off now.
Hopefully. This was in a previous interview. But now what I'm saying is that, see, also the people have to people have to take responsibility for their state. Ultimately, it is their state.
Correct.
Right? So, if you see somebody like, I'm not saying everybody does, but a lot of tourists come there, you will find them opening the door, throwing garbage out or throwing thing. So, I think if it is ultimately, this is our state. Correct. People have to be, we should not be known for women or drinks or, drugs like what is happening to a lot of places. If you go on the website. So people also should be invested in it. It's not only the governments and it's not only industry, but if everybody is a stakeholder, like you bring in the proper people or you hold people accountable, hold people responsible, don't you think that is when we say that, okay, fine, Goa is evolving. It's not only one Vincent or one Glenn who is responsible, it's everybody. So that if everybody becomes a stakeholder, if everybody starts making money from tourism, probably that will happen.
I think
at least I hope so.
Yeah, you answered the whole thing. Perfect. I think, Glenn, you said the right thing. If once that happens,
then we can say
that is the success. That is the ultimate success. And we have to make sure that happens somehow by educating the public. I think education is the most important thing. It really worries you when somebody agitates on certain projects. Then it worries you that are you aware of this project? What project is coming up is good for your next generation?
You don't even know. You just
the professional agitator. So is it good for your next generation? So that's the question you have to ask. And if it's good for your next generation, why not? Why do you want to be left behind? You cannot be left behind. So as long as you don't destroy nature, as long as you don't destroy a lot of things, but if the intentions are good and it's good for saying that this is going to benefit my children or my grandchildren, why not? We should support it.
Also, but I have in fact, just today something happened. Sorry, but then I don't want to see people drinking on the roads. I don't want to see people with a beer bottle drinking on the beaches. I don't want to, go on the websites and say like, no, woman. So that is not the type of tour, because if we do that, we will get that type of riffraff. We will not get families, people who are going to pay. We are not going to get people who are, going to come.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yes, I agree with you.
That is something that has to be cracked down very badly, otherwise we will lose huge section of tourism.
Yes.
Who's going to bring the stakeholders and who we go on?
We'll lose the quality tourism.
Exactly, we lose the people.
We don't mind losing the other segment of this thing, who actually create this mess of holding the beer bottles in hand, walking around, glasses, and you find all broken bottles in the morning when you go for your morning walk. You don't want that, Now that's the difference. When you have a broken bottle broken on the beach, who has broken it.
Exactly.
Right? A gentleman who comes to a 5-star hotel will never do something stupid like that. So that is what the whole difference. I think we have to understand that part of it. We've been talking about quality tourism for a long time, and I'm sure it's going to happen. We've been talking about hinterland tourism for a long time, and I'm sure it's going to happen. We are on the right track, and the government is doing a lot. I can see that the government is doing a lot. The intentions are good of everyone. They wanting to rope in the stakeholders. They want to have partners together for tourism to be in the business. Now they have a tourism board and all. So you see, when you hear all these things, you have a
you feel very
positive, very optimistic that something is happening. Then going the other way. Sometimes you have to walk in the marshy land. It takes time, but after some time the marshy land is over, and then you start walking on the flat land. I think then you start running, basically.
But I still think that for this movement to be faster, there's some sort of, people have to feel like no. And they, from their people whom they bring to power, be it at whatever level, they say, no, we want this is our state, we want it done this way, we want it because it's good for us, it's good for our kids, and it's good for our kids, 3-4 generations.
Correct.
See, when that comes, and I think it's slowly coming. I'm not talking about the professional agitators, believe me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who are stakeholders in the progress of Goa to become Goa and India to go where it should go. It's right place. I don't know. You want to add something to this?
No. Everybody should be proud of Goa. Everybody should have that pride. And in 1997, there was a guest who came from Croatia. He was just a guest, and he was staying at a Taj, and he started distributing. I haven't even heard about a place called Croatia and the tourism was not in bounds and leaves the way it is. He started distributing pamphlets and keychains and all those about tourism of Croatia. And we then went and said that, hey, listen, where is this place, Croatia? And then I remember later on Croatia took part in the World Cup, and then now it's very famous though.
Yes.
But I'm saying that man, he was just a normal citizen, but he was so proud about his country that he carried brochures or whatever to distribute in another country. And I think if we all listen, have you visited Goa? You go down to Switzerland and you say, come to Goa and give it. Why not? Nobody's going to slap you for that.
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, it's been very. I'm sure we will reach that stage with a little bit of effort from the people who live in this place, who love this place. Vincent, you and me, in part, who are part of that Goa, India. We want, and thanks for coming on our show again. Thank you,
Glenn.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Tuesday is Goa World Tourism Day, which we are, it's just a day, but we are celebrating it because Goa is very tourism oriented, and it's a beautiful place which people should come and see, people should experience. Thank you again, Vincent. Thank you.
I must say that the tourism is doing a lot. The TTAG tomorrow, there is also a cooking contest. I wish everybody can take part in it for the local folks or the women of the house. They're having this rally, cycling rally, and all the other things. And I wish everybody a very happy World Tourism Day.
And those who can't take part, they can watch us on
see you at the Taj tomorrow.
Thank you once again. Thank you, and keep watching.
Thank you,
365.